week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to yet another episode of The Voice Party. We got comedian extraordinaire JD. We got Master of the Boards, Phil Spooner.
Master of the Boards.
We got comedian extraordinaire Corday Snell. Yours truly, Joaquin Xavier, and our prestigious guest, an amazing artist that we welcome back. Reintroduce yourself, please.
Seconds.
Yeah, Richard Muro Salazar.
Welcome back, sir.
Welcome back, man.
Thank you guys for having me back again.
Thank you for coming back, bro. Hey, like I said off camera, when your episode came out back in 1999,
A while ago.
That's crazy. That was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was before the pandemic, BC, before Corona. That's a new BC because the world is way different.
That's a new.
We were sitting in my apartment, my little studio, in my couch, and just
vibing.
Yeah, and like I told you, I had got like so much positive feedback from like people I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And people you probably didn't even know either because it was so it was like, damn, all right. People are listening. So from the Voice Part, thank you for that. That was awesome, man. That was some.
Yeah. You know, that was my first interview, and this is actually my second.
Oh, shit.
I never got interviewed for anything.
I thought you did like a radio thing. If I'm not, I was mistaking it. Never mind.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You heard it, folks. If any of you have podcasts,
get him on.
Definitely get him on. He is waiting and willing.
Yeah.
If you were nervous because maybe you were thinking like, oh, he's been on the Voice Party, but he's way too big for us. No, get him on your show. He's more than charitable.
No, but for real, like talking about the stuff we talked about last time really was dope to see like I still to this day like how the fuck did they get up there, like seeing like some of the artwork and stuff.
That was to kind of dive in deep and kind of see what a bit of the graph world and a bit of the mural world. A lot of people don't kind of. Well, I mean, now it's kind of been blown up, with all those social media and all the different platforms. Like it's kind of, everybody just records themselves, whereas of back then it was more mysterious and nobody knew what the hell, how do people get up there and stuff like that. But like,
there's a camera for everything now.
Yeah, there's a camera for everything now, man. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. Like a lot of the mystery's gone.
Yeah.
Like before you would see especially like we talked about this last time, like a lot of the films that came out, like Infamy is one of them that I love watching, like stuff like that. And then, over the years, what was it? The one we were just talking about, Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Yeah.
You see that and it takes away the mystery of like one day this wall is gray and then all of a sudden there's hella different pieces up there or you're like, holy shit, it happens overnight. The darkness makes all that shit happen.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the mystery's kind of gone. Everybody's just kind of hungry for put their content out or whatever, like them, so it's not really mysterious anymore, No. Now you got everybody with a GoPro and then you got a GoPro in the hand and then, it's like
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, man. Yeah. So
do you kind of like that the mystery's gone in a way, or do you miss that old school guerrilla style? Nobody knows.
Yeah, I kind of miss the mystery, because it's like, the biggest term that I heard with growing up, it's like, you're a ninja, you're like a night crawler.
You're like Batman.
And nobody knows how you move and nobody knows like how many spots you hit or how you did that. And now it's just kind of ninja.
Someone gave away the cheat codes.
It's kind of gone, Like someone
gave away the cheat codes and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Everybody can do the special moves now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean that it's just there's no more ninjas anymore, right? You see the people. I mean, now the people that do hit these crazy spots, it's more for content, or it's more for show, I guess. I mean, I don't want to say show, but I mean, because obviously their life is at risk, or some of these spots are super dangerous, so it's but it's definitely I feel like it's much more for show than whereas of back in the day where none of that really existed. It was more for like your own personal self and your own personal drive to like put your work out there, and it's only it's actually a very small audience that actually sees it. We
were talking about that, like you go under some tunnels and there's some dope shit there, and no one's ever gonna see that unless they have a flashlight, and who fucking
yeah, I mean, I've been through some crazy tunnels. There's some tunnels underneath Marine World, Six Flags, and like, man, like to get into there, like only a few people actually go under there. It's only it's like for a selective audience. You know what I'm saying? And like and now there's like this whole new breed of like graffiti that just photographers or filmmakers that obviously blow up the spots or they give away the spots, and then like it's like. It's like I said, it's giving out the cheat codes, so only like the real dedicated few like will find it, and like contribute to the spot. Whereas of now, it's like, I just hit up the photographer guy and like, hey bro, where's the spot at? It's like, oh yeah, bro, you drive exit on exit 20, and then like you park behind Home Depot, bro, and then it's like, damn man, like. All that, like I said, like the mystery and all that's kind of gone.
And also the thing too is like that style of art is hella mainstream now.
Yeah.
It's like it's on shirts. People design a lot of. I know a lot of those graffiti artists that were popular back in the '90s, like for being like you don't know what their face looked like. Yeah. Now they're designing shit for Snoop, or they're fucking
collaborating with Adidas or something.
Right. Yeah, that's a big thing now too, where it's like is it still punk rock?
Yeah, it's man, it's it's like I said, it's like a very fine line now, where it's like, is it vandalism or is it more corporatized now to a point where it's like, oh man, like you see even in some of the new buildings, the new development, you see graffiti style murals in the lobby now. It's like
seen a lot of that.
You go to San Francisco and like there's huge graffiti murals in the front, like it's like man, like that's what graffiti completely was against, and now it's
corporate punk rock.
And now it's just like it's embedded in there now. It's I think with any culture, it just kind of like slowly entangles itself into corporatism.
For sure. It's something that could be sold. So like
exactly.
And that's the beauty about it. Like what's it called? Like seeing like 80s, 90s New York. Like all the graffiti like that, like to think that shit, what it is now, like it's really, back then it was like, it's just the streets. It's what the streets look like. The natural decor of the streets. And now it's like, like you said, I went to, it was a company that did something for Google, but like they weren't Google, but they worked for Google in San Francisco, I went in there and like, there was a mural. There's like murals, like it was like this big old canvas, and it had like, it was like a mural thing, like a graffiti style, and I was like, oh shit. And it's weird seeing that, like you said. It's like seeing a mosh pit at church.
What a beautiful way to put it. Exactly. It's like this doesn't kind of belong here. Kind of.
It's weird. It's like weird.
It's weird.
I'm trying to think of seeing a mosh pit at a black church. That'd be hella weird. I'm not.
It's called getting in the spirit.
Holy Ghost.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's called. But imagine them like jumping on people and stuff like that. That would be.
Oh man. That's the gospel of Colognes right here.
Exactly.
And then seeing that from your end, growing up in the scene when it was like, I guess when I hopped into the scene, there was no cell phones. It was just kind of like, shit, boomboxes and 40s.
I mean, I was breakdancing in high school. I really loved the b-boying, and that's what really drew me to the hip hop side of before it kind of blew up to this mainstream thing where it was b-boying, DJing, rapping, and graffiti. Well, now they added another fifth element, which is knowledge. When I was growing up, it was only 4 elements. It was the b-boy, DJing, graffiti, and rapping. And so to me, like I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm trying to master all of them. And to me, b-boying and graph was just the main thing that I really drew my attention. So I did graffiti because of my friends, and I saw them doing it because we were all breakdancing together. So, and then there was no cell phone. Pagers were really coming out back then, and the whole era of the pagers and all these secret codes and whatnot. So,
boobs.
Yeah, boobs.
800. Sorry.
So it still felt like a ninja thing, don't tell nobody what you're writing.
Secret society.
Yeah, definitely.
Like super, like a brotherhood. Or only, like, I remember one of my friends was, you know him, but like, we would walk past, his stuff, and he just kind of like, I didn't find out till like later, but that was him, and he was like, and that's like a little thing like that he had. Yeah, it's like, I guess it's like it's only your thing. It's no one else's. Yeah. So even if they take it off, I guess like that feeling is like I'm on, like, my name's all over the fucking wall.
Yeah, you didn't want to tell anybody because obviously there's legalities to it now,
sure.
And then all that just kind of seems out the window now with social media.
So
I don't know, maybe
that's
it's just
weird.
me. Like people do crazy shit for the likes or whatever, and then just kind of like the legalities are not there no more. Because I know a lot of artists that still do illegal graffiti, but it's like it's all over social media with their face, and it's kind of like, what the, it's like, how does that work?
Yeah.
I guess to me, coming from the era before the whole social media blew up, like I'm still very protective about, like, I don't want to do any illegal stuff online or like post it or like it just doesn't sound right.
Do an Instagram live and show where you at exactly or something like that. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm in Walnut Creek.
We out here live.
Building. Let's get started.
Helicopter flies in and gets the breaking news. Richard is at it again.
So, definitely the whole mystery is gone. Yeah, and then
with a lot of stuff.
With a lot of stuff. Yeah,
that's one of the things. About that social media kind of ruined. Like, we actually had this on the episode the other day. I was like, we were talking about something, and it was like, I don't know, let me Google it. I was like, no, let's just. Sometimes it's good to just not know, because it kind of keeps you just talking about it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like knowledge too, but like, I forgot. I heard someone say this in a thing I was listening to. Is like sometimes an abundance of information is a like, was it an abundance of information can lead to like a total lack of knowledge.
Oh no.
There's so much stuff. Like, phones are so dope for like a lot of stuff. Like obviously I learned a lot, but it can be so easy to just end up, looking at fucking, stupid shit like prank videos.
They were saying that, the era of boredom is kind of leaving humanity, because when you're bored, it's like the switch that turns on that actually kickstarts your creativity, and you start finding things to do, or like, oh, maybe I should play with this and this, and like see what happens, whereas of like now it's like, oh, I'm kind of bored, I'm gonna go out, or I'm gonna hop on the computer on the phone
and just watch it for hours.
And it's hours and hours. And then, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us kind of catch ourselves like, oh damn, it's been 2.5 hours looking at bullshit. So it's like that creative part of the process just kind of it's like shutting down, So, and
that I feel has brought a lot of good shit. Like, for example, we talked about it earlier. That's how hip hop was made. Some dude was, playing music and then just fucking with shit. And I'm pretty sure he only had like 2 or 3 records or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, DJ Kool Herc had a couple of records, and he realized that he could extend the part that everyone liked the most. Yeah. And all he needed was 2 copies of the same record, and he could just kind of like switch in between them on either turntable. And he was like, "Oh shoot, that's called a break."
Yeah, Disney fucking had to sit around in his garage bored as fuck. What if I made a rat talk?
Exactly.
Boredom does lead to a lot of dope. A lot of the times when I'm thinking of a new joke or whatever, I'm usually bored. And it's like, just, how could I make a joke about my friend's addiction?
Something like that.
I know that sounds fucked up, but just all this kind of shit, just kind of, and that is a value in being bored.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the name of this episode, by the way. The value of being bored.
That's gonna drive up the listeners.
I mean, it's and a lot of new stuff is actually kind of being lost, from not being bored, bored enough, you know. I think even with social media, like I feel like I stopped following a lot of artists. I stopped following a lot of so even some of the artists that I look up growing up, I look up to growing up, and it's just because like I don't feel like it's if I create something, it's no longer original because it's inspired by somebody that I kind of been watching through social media.
A form of
it's not. I mean, I wouldn't say it's copying, but
it's not an original thought.
Yes, but it's not an original thought because I'm glued to the screen and I'm looking at everybody's art and like I'm getting like a piece of here and a piece of there, there. Whereas when I'm bored, it's more like it's more natural, more organic, you know. So I noticed that. Oh man, I'm gonna stop following every graffiti writer that I know. It's like, or every artist that I look up to. Like I'm no longer following them. Like, or I'd rather follow my friends and family where, I learned some things off of them.
For sure.
Instead of like me just strictly following art or famous muralists that I used to follow. Like I don't even follow them anymore because it's like, I feel like my creativity gets tainted, you know what I'm saying? Like in a way.
Like a subconscious influence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They say the same thing about comedy. Like I know I stopped doing comedy for a while. Me and JD both have, but I've like stopped following comedians or like I hate when people send me like someone who does like a skit or something and sends me a joke. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna listen to this, right? Because I don't want this joke to be in my subconscious, and then I think I come up with something exactly like that or kind of little tweaks, and I'm like, I want my jokes to be original. So like I'll watch like a quick like 1 minute of something, and I'll be like, then if it's like, damn, I have a joke like this, but I can't do it. Or sometimes my homies will be like, I think this dude is stealing your joke or your premise, and like I'm like, well, can you put the exact time it's at, because I want to just listen real quick, and then I'm trying to turn it off because
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Exactly, man. I feel you exactly like that, man. Because I catch myself drawing a few things, and I'm like, it kind of looks like that guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then, have you ever done that, like not on purpose, where it just kind of happened? You did something, but then there's something very similar to that. Did you scrap it? Like, I'm done with that.
I mean, no, because I hold it, but I don't release it, or I keep it more to myself. Like, or I edit it to a point where it's like. It's like it feels more my style, or I try to recreate it several times where it kind of gets rid of that original look-alike, or just keep on adding it or like
make it your way,
making it my own. Like I try to make it my own, like as much as I can, and really make it original.
That's the thing I suffered with too, because like I'm not saying they copied me, but I've seen TikToks. And they sound similar to some of my premises. And it's just kind of like, and that's kind of why I stay away from TikTok, because like, that's not what I want to do.
I've seen a few
I mean, I do TikTok too. I have TikTok. I mean, I post on TikTok because I mean, shit, I still want people to listen, so I got to get the word out. But like, like if I hear TikTok that sounds similar to something I do on stage, I kind of that's what I stay away from.
I've heard exact TikToks that said exactly something I said. That's what like fucked up.
That fucks my head.
Yeah, because I remember I was saying this one joke, and like I said it like 2016, 2017, 2018. Where it was kind of like, I was like, I hate when like older women would be like, oh my god, you're a baby. You're like, oh, I'm a baby. Well, don't you breastfeed me then, right? And then literally two, I think I saw it last year. This white dude was like, oh, I'm a baby. Well, breastfeed me then. And then they dropped the music to it. I was like, motherfucker. So
that for me, that's one of the like I like
that is
like
why we copyright jokes.
Well, you
can't copyright jokes.
You can't copyright jokes.
No, you can't.
That was a big thing. Like, for example, copywriting jokes. Like when that in the Bush administration era, there was like hella comics had that border wall joke. Like, who you're gonna get rid of the Mexican? Who's gonna build the wall? And it's the same shit for like 4 different comics. It's like, at that point, if I'm like the number 5, I'm like, I'm gonna just write something else.
Exactly.
Maybe write something else. You know? It's like a lot of people, and you can attest to this. A lot of, especially artists or whatever, they try to touch on topics that are popular, because that's what people are talking about, and that's what's it. And I mean, I may bum out the crowd with my fucking heroin jokes, but it's real to me.
But at least we're not all talking about COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's like when I go with COVID, I always try to think of like another way to like look around it and kind of come up with it. But it's kind of like I remember one time I saw like a national touring comedian. And I was like, that kind of sounds like. I was like, we all talk about COVID. I started realizing I was like, we all talking about COVID. So it's some kind of way we'll all be somewhat similar about it. Like
I just did my first COVID joke last week.
Yeah.
Like the first time I ever did it, same thing. I try to stay away from the topic.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from the Trump because it was like, don't get me wrong, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But everyone's doing the same shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. So then that's why I also stay away from COVID. And I just did my first COVID joke.
Yeah.
How basically I have no sympathy for any other disease anymore. I caught myself because I heard a guy coughing at work. This is true.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, do you have COVID? Like he showed me a scar. He had a lung cancer. And I was like, oh, thank God. But that's how fucked up. A lot of people, have gotten.
Yeah. But that's literally something that happened to you too. So that's like your own personal experience. Yeah.
That's why I try to keep it like real.
Yeah. It's like, did you have COVID? Like, oh no, I got cancer in my throat. But like, oh, okay, thank God.
You've been coughing in my immediate direction,
Exactly.
in my face for the last 5 minutes.
So yeah.
So that's
relief.
Originality is a hard thing to maintain.
It's
not hard, but it's
challenging.
I rather
it's definitely much more challenging now, but it's it's just having strict boundaries now. It's like, okay, like I can't,
because the parameters are changing.
Yeah, the parameters are constantly changing every day, and then it's just kind of like this whole fake news stuff. You also have like fake journalists, you have fake artists,
True.
You have fake comedians, and it's like very small, like
a lot of phonies.
Yeah, a lot of phonies, and then they're just repeating what somebody else said, and just obviously for the content where it's like, because I've seen a few videos where it's like, dude, this guy, and I click on a guy's page and all his art is whack, it's like, and it's like all the shit that I've seen like just
and they get hella followers.
Regurgitated. Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I've seen like 5 videos of the same person doing the exact same technique.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not, and then I look at his work and it's like, oh damn, this guy's obviously not an artist.
It's just little like simple tags and shit,
or like simple paint techniques that obviously just get blown up and people like send it, resend it, and like it gets retweeted or whatnot, and it's like, so it's like, man, okay, this guy's obviously not a real artist. And it's kind of like the whole talk about the whole NFT thing and like and like how that thing's just kind of blowing up and skyrocketing right now.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
What?
Non-fungible tokens.
Yeah, okay, so what does that mean?
You can okay, the basis of it is
we're two dumb comedians,
a piece of art or a song. I don't know if they've done like a film NFT, but they've done musical ones. They've done pieces of artwork, and they go, okay, we're going to digitize this. And if you're the owner of the artwork,
so it's only available in the digital world,
right? You pay in, you hook up with one of the cryptocurrencies. One of the wallets, and then you buy like a certain amount of, I think it's Ethereum is the one that runs it.
Yep, correct.
$100 worth of Ethereum. And once you have that bare minimum, if let's say you're creating the NFT, like I'm thinking about releasing some music as an NFT and just put it out and be like, all right, this is the song by Joaquin Xavier, and there's only one. I can make as many copies as I like, but let's say I only.
Don't worry, listeners, I get the pirated version.
Right? So please don't. One copy, and then that person goes out and sells it, and then there's an auction. Right? And then somebody buys it for the highest bidder. And then if that person wants to sell it in another auction, they can. And every time they resell it, you get paid if you're the creator.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like modern day, like museum style art. And
like the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
The owner of the Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Now there's detractors that like are negative about it, but fuck them. Artists need to be paid. That's the way I feel.
Do you have NFTs like that you created?
I'm working on a few of my own designs and trying to release them just because the hype is just right there.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like that was kind of created to kind of support actual artists, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now you have all, like I said, you have all these phonies, and now you have
non-artists.
Now you have all these
NFTs.
Corporations. Now you have Disney trying to creating NFTs, and now you have like.
Have you heard
Taco
about?
I don't even know who the hell is. It's.
Have you heard
I'll
about
buy
the
some
ape
Taco
scandal?
Bell NFTs.
No, I haven't not heard about the apes.
So there's like a popular NFT.
I mean, I've heard about the ape.
Right.
Yeah.
So that company that generates the ape design bought the original ape design from the artist before they turned it into an NFT, and then like paid her like, or him or her like bare minimum whatevers, and now they're making millions off of her work. And because there's no real copyright regulation, they can totally make all the monies, and because she relinquished, like they paid her for the initial original version, they're making like gobs of money off of different iterations of that ape.
It's kind of, well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, for example, if you hire me for a T-shirt design, and it's like, well, you obviously pay me like $500 for the design, right? But man, if that guy prints out 500 shirts, and dude, who's the biggest loser? You know, obviously the artist, because all he has to do is just print the shirt out 1,000 times, and obviously he's gonna make. But at the same time, but when you sell the design, you're giving up that the rights, because you got cashed out for the design.
That brings up, I wanted to ask you this. I don't know if I asked you last time, but like when you make a mural for someone, do you like hand over the rights for them to do whatever they want with it?
No, we negotiate. It's a contract. Well, a lot of the contracts that I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I sued Chevron.
Yeah, you did.
And I had a contract with Honda too, and then with the whole Chevron thing was the first thing, and then that's when I really hired a lawyer, and then I really kind of from there that's where I figured out, I really have power as a muralist, because this work is in public, and anybody can just snap a picture. But it just comes to like, okay, if you snap a picture and you're trying to make profit out of it, now it's like, okay, now we get into the legalities of things where like, okay, now I have a right as an artist, and now I can actually sue and get something back, But it's not until I actually start copywriting my murals until where I'm like, okay, like I really need to invest into a lawyer and see how I can actually protect myself. And sure enough, I sued Chevron, and I won that case.
Oh, shit.
And
that's a hard.
And
that's Goliath, man.
One. There you go.
That's a hard one.
And that was really awesome. That was a big victory. And then it just feels like it goes to show that, oh man, me as a graph writer, because back then I didn't consider myself professional. I was one of my first murals. And then it's not till there where I'm like, oh man,
that's the one on what street again?
Harbor Way McDonald.
Harbor Way McDonald. That mural, that's his. Man. Yeah, you're familiar with that one, right? You're from Richmond.
Yeah.
It's in front of the
He's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
That's his, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's why I was like, I got froze, because I was like, incredible. Because I'm from Richmond, so like drive all. Wow, dude!
Yes, you're sitting next to greatness right there.
Yeah, you're sitting next to greatness.
No, man. But definitely, I remember because when we was talking about NFTs real quick, I remember the first time I started hearing about it was like when kids are like taking pictures of themselves for like a NFT, basically for like athletes, like making like a new trading card. So like they'll have like a trading card for themselves. Let's say, because the pipeline of going pro, sometimes a lot of people don't make it, but then this NFT could help them like have some kind of like if they make it like big in college, but then they'll make it big in the league, they can sell this NFT. So for some people it's helping. Then other people, like you said, like the fake like artists or like that, that's like you're watering down everything.
Anytime
it gets watered down.
Another one of our guests says, give humans enough time, they'll ruin anything. That's straight up. And that's what it comes down to. Just enjoy it while it's there. And but it gets ruined, and that's
I was about to say, when white people started dabbing.
Oh no. Hey, we could real talk. We could release this episode as an NFT. Probably clean up
man.
nicely.
We want people to hear some of this shit though.
Of course,
So like, that's where it gets kind of like, because going back to like the Napster days, like that's an example of that.
Perfect example.
I remember like I saw an interview with a band where they were talking about, I get where Lars from Metallica, where he's coming from, where he's mad that they're
downloading it for free.
But it's like they were like, for us, it's like, shit, if people want it, they're gonna get it regardless. If they don't do it from Napster, they're gonna fucking do the remember they had the copying the tape back then.
You had to do the old fashioned way. You had to wait for it to come on the radio and then record it from a tape.
What that band was saying is like
album
that
burn a CD. Nobody does that now.
LimeWire.
What they were saying is like there's some people that really can't afford it, but they should be able to have access to art too. And that's where it kind of gets like that's where it's dope to have a mural out in public because like
exactly.
It really because that mural I mentioned that before in the last episode. The mural that was there before like was negative as fuck, man. It was like
it was real dark
and a dragon, and it was like eating a guy, and it's like it was like a drug thing, and it was
was not Chevron commissioned.
Maybe it was.
We just didn't know about it.
And actually, that was done by school kids. It was great.
What?
It
sounds pretty badass.
That's a fucked up look inside of a child's mind of what they were probably seeing.
Yeah.
It was like a teenager,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that? Do you
sounds
ever,
like your typical 16-year-old?
Basically,
You ever? You're a parent now. You're a parent.
Yeah.
You ever like? Because that's one of those things that like, how was your drawings as a kid? I remember I had some dark drawings once, and it kind of raised some concerns.
Man, I used to love Iron Man when I was a kid, man. So everything was war related, man. I don't know why, but I mean, I still have some of my old stuff, and it's like, and like hundreds of missiles going into like somebody, and it's like, I was like, damn, what was like?
Would you be concerned if your kid?
Crazy thing is that I remember as a young kid, and my biggest thing was drawing slides. I don't know why, like from a park.
Oh yeah.
You go down a slide, and I used to love making it like twist it around and just keep on twisting.
Oh yeah.
Twisting it around and like making that effect of like, okay, this part's got to go behind this part.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's actually twisting.
That's hella dope. Yeah.
So I don't know why, but and then after that was Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So it's like what a huge difference.
Was there computers around when you were growing up too, stuff like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I remember when AOL came out. I remember when my dad bought us our first computer, and then he bought us this.
Hella big.
It was this huge thing, and then like he bought us it's called Mario Type to learn how to type, but it was a Mario game. Yeah. And then pretty much like you're in order for Mario to move, you got to copy the sentence, and I'm like. I
had that. Mario teaches typing. I had that too.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh man, this is the most amazing thing. And then like, eventually like I learned to type up to like 55 to 60 words a minute.
Damn.
But it's because from the video game, me being like,
You end up typing a period when you were supposed to type a comma, and then a Goomba gets you, and you're like, damn it.
Damn, that's crazy. I still to this day type like two chickens picking at their corn. I never learned how to type.
You've never been like, I would freak out some people because I would type an essay in the library or something and turn my head and be like, what were you saying?
Yeah,
how do you do that?
No.
I mean,
I was
easy.
like,
dude,
I still remember where everything is.
You remember in the Toy Story 2, the old man that's fixing Woody? That's me. Like, like straight up, bro. Like I never type. Like I never really. This is I want to share this before someone shares. In high school, they had us double space our essays, and I would space bar twice. That's what I thought it was.
Hey, yeah.
And the teacher called me out in front of everybody, and everyone laughed at me. Dude.
Yeah. I used to do the same thing too. Though. I used to like because I didn't learn how to type either. Because I remember, so I went to like a kind of a white school, and then like El
Cerrito, we know.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like they was teaching us how to type.
All well funded and shit.
Yeah. So they was like, okay. So they was like, put your fingers here, stuff like that, and go up and go down and stuff like that. And let's learn how to type. First off, start typing your name. We did that for 2 weeks, and then they shut down the computer lab, and there was no more computer lab at our school. So I was like, fuck, I don't know how to type. But then my cousins who went to like the whacker school or like the less funded school learned how to type, and then over time I had to just learn how to type myself. But I used to be like that too, JD, and then I kind of just started kind of going like this, and I can't turn like this motherfucker, but I kind of like after writing like a bunch of papers, you kind of had to force myself to learn how to do that shit. But yeah,
that's crazy because that game I still use all the technique.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be talking to my girl, I'll be like, yeah.
Do you still got it? JD needs to use it.
No, No, we do that thing long time.
Now it's like Call of Duty teaches typing. Every time you type
how to take over a country,
Nazi dies. It's like, ooh, you sniped the Nazi general in the head. Good job. That means you wrote a whole paragraph without mistakes.
No, that's the thing too. Like,
if you write an essay on it, you get to kill Hitler.
That's the thing too with like I see my niece doing school, and it's like there's no more writing. No more writing with hands. Like, it's all computer shit.
No more cursive, bro. Nobody writes. Nobody writes cursive,
that's crazy.
Cursive.
Nobody.
Yeah,
that's true. That's where it's like all these little things we didn't even think of. They're changing hella now. Like,
it makes sense.
Yeah. I was mentioning earlier that I'm teaching 2 mural classes now, and then man, sure enough, it's this art center in East Palo Alto, and then it's I mean, they have the option of getting the sketchbook and the pencil, but it's all the iPad and the Procreate. You know, and I remember when Procreate came out, and that was like a huge game changer. You know, it's like, you know, because you went from Photoshop to Illustrator, and then you had to take a 4-hour college course to be able to learn this stuff, the software. You know, and then when Apple released this Procreate, it like eliminated all that. You know, it's like you could be a graphic designer yourself. You know, you don't have to hire a graphic designer no more. You know, you could just draw yourself and digitalize your own work now, and it's like. You know, it's like dope. I mean, it's like a potential. It's a free app, or you can purchase the upgrades and whatnot. But like,
what's the name of the app?
Procreate. You know, that completely blew everything up. And it's. Like I said, the evolution of everything is just like skyrocketing now. It's not like this slow pace anymore. It's just like it's like a bombshell. And then and everybody obviously you watch a few YouTube videos and you're like, oh dang, I'm a pro at this stuff.
The dope thing about that, even though like let's say
but yeah, the paper and pencil. It's becoming old stuff now.
For sure.
That's great.
Maybe that's a good way for environmentally, but like the cool thing about like, for example. For someone like you who gets paid to create shit, let's say someone just uses that like fuck it, we don't need you. You still gotta pay for that creative eye. Not everybody has that shit. It's just
exactly.
like it's like you don't want to see comedians, you want to see TikTokers perform stand-up. Go ahead, fucker. It's like that thing. Like the arts are always gonna be needed, no matter how much the fucking world changes and all this and that. And this is available to you now. Like
but
that's true.
But that's a huge difference from paper to digital, and the same thing from TikTok to seeing somebody live. A stand-up comedian. Like the work you create on a piece of paper just feels 100% much more personal, much more individualized, like much more like you're in tune.
It's right there.
It's right there, but once it starts going into the digital, it's like it's not that same feeling.
It loses its soul.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't mean to say anything about TikTokers but I'm saying go ahead.
I'm surprised with what some people have been able to do with the medium of TikTok. Like,
for sure.
There's this one guy, and my student has shown me a couple of clips and he's basically the setup is something like something mundane occurs, and then it's referenced by someone else, and it's always the same African American who's like ironing his laundry. I'll give you an example.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Dude was like, who built this crappy toilet? This toilet is terrible. What's going on? And then like they cut to the black guy, and the black guy's just like, the council has reviewed your request, and we're going to send our assassins to murder this guy in the worst way possible. And he's just got like a series of videos, and they're all funny to me.
No, and I'm not saying that's what I'm saying.
He might not be able to do stand up, but he could probably do sketch.
he may be able to do it, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like okay, cool. This is
because it's a different craft. I mean,
that's not what I'm saying. It's just like you say with paper, like it's let's keep both kind of there. Because it's a whole different kind of like you learn a lot about, like, for example, when we were doing like sales training, they told you to write everything down that you're presenting, because that way it's like something you actually, it is kind of like, I guess you say is using your powers for evil. But if you write it down, like the quote for the person you're selling something, it's like, this is for me directly, instead of just like a flyer. Like instead of me just giving you the voice party, I'm gonna write down the voice party as my handwriting, and here, this is for me to you. They're like, oh, this is for me from you.
Very personal.
Very personal. It's a personalized thing. Or
like Valentine's Day is coming up and stuff like that, and like when you buy a card, but then when you write a message inside, like they always open it up to see like what you wrote, because that's way more personal than just like, oh, here you go, here's a card, kind of a thing.
But if you draw something out of scratch, that's like,
bam, you took your time to like get it. First off, you got a piece of paper, took like a pencil, stuff like that. Oh, you were using color pencils on this? Oh, like, oh snap, like all this, instead of just like, oh, you just use like this app and kind of just kind of.
It's like, imagine a regular person gives them a nice card from CVS, and then Richard here, he like points his big ass flashlight up there in the ceiling. You see that, baby? That's for you. Like, I mean, that's the difference in I mean, it's not like that, but that's how it feels to have something super personalized. Like right now, Homeboy gave us a copy of his book, and he signed us. I don't know if like different message for each one of us. That's dope.
I mean, just like how you have like the letter versus the email, right? I had a few friends that were breaking up with their girl, and I was like, write them a letter, write them a letter, and like don't call them or don't text them, and like express your full feelings on a text message or on an email. Like it's either in person or write it on a piece of paper, because they're like, oh damn, like that's deep. Like they took the time to actually write this. Like, okay, dude, I'm bugging up on this. Like, let me try to be better or whatever. It's like, dude, that's obviously gonna have a much deeper impact than like me being like, yo, I'm sorry, hey babe, I'm sorry on the text.
I was drunk. I'm not gonna do it no more. That's true. That's true. Like, first of all, how the fuck did you find paper? We don't have paper laying around.
Exactly.
You mean I gotta buy this notebook?
Rip one of them.
It's super funny. I still write out my jokes before my set, stuff like that, and people always look at me weird. They were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, because it's really just like,
is this the menu?
People like, are you doing homework? Because I'll write the top of the joke and I write like lines and like the little stuff in between it. But like, what is? It's like, oh, you don't write it on your phone, but like that's
what I do. See, that's where I'm different a little bit. Like,
because my professor told me, she was saying like, she's like, it's still something about the muscle memory of your arm physically moving. It helps you memorize, and then seeing it as you're doing it helps you memorize it versus like doing it on the phone. Because I'll type out the jokes like when I come up with it in the moment on my phone, but then I'll write it out to like, and then to help me like memorize it and stuff like that.
That same thing with me. It's like, well, for my scripts. Or for short stories or something like that, I type. But when it comes to like music and when writing raps, it's always handwritten. And for the same reason as you, it's like I remember it better, because at some point I'm going to go into the booth, and the one thing I learned is that when you have your tablet right in front of you and you're doing 90% reading off of it, it sounds unnatural, uncomfortable. But if you memorize it, it's going to come off as though you've been performing it for a very long time.
This is going to be weird about like, when I do, I used to bring a notepad all the time, and I lost it once, and the comedian found it. He made fun of one of my jokes. I'm like, man, fuck you. I didn't, that's not why I stopped bringing it. But like, what I do is I have all my jokes written on there, and I always add shit on there. And then I will go on there, and whatever I feel like performing that day, I type an X next to the joke. And I do that, and I look at from top to bottom, X, and it's like, you're doing 15 minutes. All right, I got all of them marked down, and that's kind of how I remember the shit now. And it just, this one's going up today. Like, it's a weird process. But like, I see you and like Jose, who's been regular here in the podcast too. He does the same thing. Like they need to write it out. And just
I feel the exact same way. Like I need to see it. I need to see it. I need to draw it. Because I mean, when I sketch out on a wall, I'm obviously still kind of, that muscle memory is there. Like if I draw a heart or whatever, that the same motion of the transferring is still there, and it's I'm the same way. I got to physically draw it and see it, and then to be able to recreate it on a much larger scale.
I mean, like tattoo artists, I see you got some few tattoos. They draw it out first. They don't just go freehanded like on like and start doing, you know. So it's like it's like a sketch kind of a thing. But yeah, it's whoever like helps you like do your thing.
That's why I want to get a type. You know, we were working on that script together, and I wanted to type it out on my fucking
typewriter.
I want to get a typewriter because I saw that movie The Zodiac where and it just looks so I also someone told me, it's like, those guys couldn't fuck up. You fuck up like the last letter, the last word in that fucking page, you ruin your whole page.
Didn't you let me type it up for you, right?
Don't tell anybody that. Sorry. Hey man, can you help me with the script?
No, but you wrote it. I just took your words.
See, for that kind of shit, I actually just write it and I asked him to type it for me. And this guy, I'm gonna sound like a Neanderthal. I was like, can you type this for me? I sent them pictures of the page.
No lie.
I forgot how hard that was.
No lie.
He texted me, what is this worse?
No lie, my dad has had an old school typewriter and stuff like that. I still have it, and like I wanted to use it, but then I remember like it's out of ink, it's out of this kind of stuff. Because I remember
it's like, how do you get the ink down?
Because we were literally transitioning in school from like, you need to type this up, and then I was like, we have a typewriter, and then it was kind of like find a typewriter or something like that, or write it in pen. But I think we was at an age it's like, if you write it in pen, you're probably gonna mess up, so you need to type this thing on it up. But I was like, I don't have a computer. And it was like, my teacher would say, do you have a typewriter by any chance? And we can literally use the typewriter. And then she wouldn't ding you as much for mistakes.
How fucking old are you?
Dude, I'm old, man.
I used to do my my 8th grade work on a typewriter.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Wow. Well, how old are you? You're 30.
I'm 35, but it wasn't my typewriter. It's my grandfather's.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well, I mean,
dude retired in 1965.
I think of so much the digital stuff. You're kind of craving some of that old school
that
stuff.
old,
like now, like I don't even take digital pictures. Like I found this old school film camera at the Goodwill.
Yeah,
I bought it for literally like $15.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the heck, but then it cost me $200 to like figure to fix it, clean it. They had to clean the shutter and all this other stuff. I had to watch like 2 hours worth of like YouTube videos to actually learn photography. But it's like I want to take film pictures now, you know, because it's like I'm so annoyed with the digital, you know.
Fuji recently came out with a camera that you can either use it to take pictures in print like a Polaroid, or you can send pictures from your phone to it and like text it or whatever, and it'll print. And I'm just kind of like, isn't it funny? Isn't it so cyclical? That's real cyclical right there.
It's funny.
Also, I forgot to mention that since you've been on the show, you got a new mural that everybody can see at Green Remedy in Hilltop.
Oh yeah,
that's beautiful, man. I just went there yesterday, and I was like, I hadn't been there since I saw you painting there. When you were first painting, I just went, you know, and I was like, holy shit! Have you been there?
No, dude, I don't know this place.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I live in Hercules, so like Hilltop, Richmond, stuff like that. I love to see murals. Like murals is always dope to me. I've always
that's a mural, right?
Yeah.
You got the one in East Brother too. That's where your other mural's at, right?
Well, that was more. That was kind of more of the East Brother mural was more of a collaboration between it was like 6-7 artists.
Okay.
But it was more of a East Brother was doing an event every single year where they would buff the wall, and then they'll have a new artist come in. It just so happens that we were right before COVID hit. We were the last ones to paint it, and it's been there, you know. And then with Green Remedy, I actually became really good friends with the owner, and you know, he's seen my work and stuff, and my partner actually used to work there a long time ago, and then since she still has friends there, they recommended me as one of the mural artists, one of the artists. And then, you know, it took a while, you know, submitting different sketches, different drawings, and making sure that we have a contract that actually works out for both, you know. And you know, same thing, like releasing either that liability or okay, you're gonna pay me this certain amount, and then we're gonna like work something out.
It gets used for their website and all that, right?
Yeah.
And aside from, like, I remember you mentioned this, like, I actually went to your studio after we recorded last time, and I saw like how you work, and like, holy shit, this is dope. You do murals, and aside from murals, you do sculptures now too, right?
Well, now I'm getting more into it, and just really getting into a lot of woodwork and stuff. When I was working with Scientific Art Studios, we I started as an intern, and then eventually got offered a full-time position at the art studio. And then when I was with them, we worked on several projects with the San Francisco Giants, with San Francisco Zoo, with the Oakland Zoo. So I don't know if you guys been to the new playground in the Oakland at the Oakland Zoo, where you take the gondola over to the
I just went like recently.
Yeah.
Which one was your piece, or what was your?
Well, I mean, it was because it's so many huge pieces. It actually takes a huge group of artists, you know. So I was just one out of I think 6.
That's dope.
But you know, my boss Ron at the time, he's the executive director of all the artwork, and we're pretty much creating his vision, you know. But you know, a lot of the wood stumps, we were there, the bird's nest, like weaving. It's called manzanita wood. We were weaving the manzanita wood to actually make it look like a bird's nest. Some of the sculptures, like the scorpion. I don't know if you guys see this. There's like a scorpion in the back, and then there's a whale's tail, and it's a bunch of stuff. All the wood benches. It took me about 3 to 4 months to actually make the benches and stuff. Because it's 2 boulders, and I had to carve out a section of the rock to be able to put a flat piece of redwood on there and bolt it down so it looks organic.
You did that there at your studio?
No, we did that at Scientific Art Studios in Richmond. It's located in Richmond.
Okay.
Dang, that's crazy.
So you know, I did the work, but it's obviously under Scientific Art Studios and stuff like that. Also, a lot of the new kids playground at the San Francisco Zoo, and a lot of the sculptures there too. It was a great time. It was a huge learning experience, and from there, that's kind of where it motivated me to maybe pursue my own stuff, and hey, maybe I should try to get my own grants or my own contracts through sculptures. And I actually did. I got my first mural sculpture. My first sculpture that I got was with the city of Richmond, and it was through a public grant too. And then I did this huge 16-foot redwood sculpture, and the reason I got this sculpture is because this log, the actual guy, the guy that I got the wood from, he cut down this 45-year-old tree, man, just because his dish wasn't getting service because some of the branches. And I was just like, oh my God, man, I can't believe this guy. And he was like, yeah, I just took it down. And it was like, dude, it's like this beautiful redwood, you know. I was like, no wonder we're such humans are just such pieces of shit. And it's like, dude, I was like, I wanted to get that log and give it some life, you know, give it another purpose, you know, instead of just making it into chips, you know, wood chips, you know. It's like, so. That was a really awesome opportunity to do that. And then now I'm currently in collaboration with Last One's Collective. We're actually doing another sculpture at the new Hacienda Heights on Barrett. And that's going to be installed in the next 2 to 3 months.
Oh, wow. Grand opening?
So that's the second one.
Like a grand opening thing?
Well, it's going to be for the whole apartment complex, because it's going to be for senior center. It's going to be like a senior center.
That's that new...
So it's like on it's a McBride and...
Yeah. McBride and not San Pablo.
I just blanked out.
21st?
It's no. It's by the BART station, by the apartment complex.
Yeah. I know.
That apartment complex right across from Del Norte BART?
It's right across from La Raza.
No, the Hacienda Heights is across the street from the Social Security Department in Richmond.
No, sorry, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah.
So it's on McBride. I forgot the cross street. But,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
right over there by Richmond BART.
Yeah, by Richmond BART. Yeah. And that's going to be, the grand opening is going to be this summer, I think. And the installation is going to be in the next 2 months. So, that's really excited. So that's going to be our, my involvement in a second sculpture. So, and I'm planning on having a sculpture show at the gallery, at the Last One's Gallery, hopefully by the end of this year. So just kind of transitioning from the murals to maybe just something more 3D dimensional, something that comes more natural, or
everything.
So just kind of just see what feels right. Like I said, I'm tired of the digital. I'm trying to get more into the actual pieces of wood and cutting them and staining them, and I got a pretty cool collection going on right now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. Where it's the digital stuff is probably the bread and butter for most artists now,
hands down. Yeah,
but that kind of stuff is just we're kind of going back to what we're talking about. Because that's what art was back in the days. Before paint. before, you know, I mean, cave drawings too, but like if you look at like what
sculptures
and shit and statues, that's what like, you know, that's like the root, one of the, you know,
it just feels much more personal, you know. It feels
labor. Good labor.
It's like good labor, you know. You know, because I mean, I spent hours on my iPad, you know, and I'm there for hours, like sketching and zooming in and zooming out and zooming in and zooming out, and it's like.
And you're making something beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And then you know, but yeah, it's like I said, it's just a completely different feel, you know, where it's like. Yeah, it's, you know, my time, my whole purpose, my intent goes into the drawing, you know, but like it's just completely different going into the actual physical.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But even, you know, painting murals with a spray can, you know, that's also like very spiritual too, you know, for at least for myself. Like I put the headphones on and I definitely tune out. You know, it's like it's just me and the wall and like, you know, fading colors and like doing my own dance, you know. I'm just like, it's definitely, you know, I enjoy that part more than the actual, you know, digital drawing it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
That's like your own form of hunting in a way, where like you're out here stalking your prey and then marking your territory, kind of. And that's kind of like, it goes back to your roots of how you started in this, I'm sure, like how you started in all this, you know, because like that, I'm sure you've had people tell me you shouldn't be doing that shit, man, it's gonna get you in trouble. And now that's like what brings.
It's like the bread and butter. I mean, not the bread and butter, but it's like that's where it originated from.
Right.
You know?
No, but I mean, saying like now that's what makes your livelihood. Like that's how you pay your bills.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope. Yeah, that's like that's a success story.
Yeah, you know? I would have never thought in my entire life this was actually going to be my career.
Right.
And, you know, I kind of grew up a little bit country. My my dad grew up raising horses, so I rode a lot of horses when I was a kid.
Nice.
Scooped up a lot of horse shit, and you know, I figured I'm gonna go somewhat into that realm of my dad was also a sous chef, so it's either I'm gonna go into like animal care or like or kind of cooking, you know. I grew up, my dad was a sous chef, and you know, he would take me in, I would help him prep, and like when I was a kid too, so I was like, I really saw my life going into either that or into, you know, cooking or into animals. So
and you're in art.
and then you know, I did graffiti for shits and giggles, you know, and just kind of, it was my thing, you know. It's like my escape from, like, when I got home, it was like, okay, I'll go to my room and I'm just like drawing or like working on letters, or like it was my thing, and I never expected that thing to actually turn into what it has, you know.
I actually, it's funny you say that, because I actually love like food. I grew up working kitchens and stuff. That I thought about it more now than ever after like some family members' deaths and stuff. Like that's kind of what I want to maybe, you know, of course, like we talk about, like I really want to get the comedy thing down. Yeah. But like I also like this thing, and like if you know, you always think about if this doesn't work out, like, you know. Yeah. But it's funny that you mentioned that, like with the food, because like I think I sent you this there's this show on PBS, Mind of a Chef. Is dope. I don't know if you ever, they kind of touch on the art side of cooking, that these chefs put, you know, their heart and soul into these dishes. And one of them talked about, like, I think I sent you the clip. This chef is an Asian chef from New York, where he kind of talked about, like, he grew up hanging out with graffiti artists and doing graffiti. And like he remembers, like, these guys would do their name and with pride. And that's kind of like that same emphasis on that he used whenever he plates his dishes that he's known for. And he thought about it like it's a beautiful and a sad thing in a way, because it's like you do the same thing and that's your signature dish, but it's never the same. And you try to recapture that every time, and it's never the same. We do the same jokes, like not you and I the same jokes, but like but it's never the same joke at every show. It's a little different, but it's the same idea, and it's not always. I've seen you perform hundreds of times. You see me. We do the same jokes, but it's never the same shit.
Crowd reacts different, stuff like that, different parts, stuff like that.
It's you try to capture that same thing, but it's never the same, and that's the beauty. That's what keeps you going. And
exactly. I completely agree. And you know, it's like, okay, it's worked out right here. How can I make it better? You know, or how can I improve on it to just so it's like because perfection is like a false sense of reality, so it's always like, how can I just make it a little bit better to like,
exactly.
Just like make it that much funnier, right? Or that much like make that color, make that impact that much better, so it's
pop out more, stuff like that.
More, like,
emphasize this thing here.
No, do I need oil paintings or should I use watercolors here? So like
So it's it's always like, what can I do different, or can I try a different brushstroke?
It's a beautiful, never-ending project.
Exactly. And I was for a long time I was trying to come up with my own like clothing line. It was called I just blanked. It was it's called Beautiful Disciple. Disciple. And nice. It's like it's like, it's like a beautiful student, and then not trying to get into a role of a teacher instead of just like you're forever a student, you're forever learning, and like
students are the best teachers.
Just
real. Sometimes,
And even now that I'm actually teaching a mural class, or just even my techniques, I still don't even feel like a teacher, because I'm like, oh man, like I presented that thing or I said that kind of incorrectly. Like, how can I do to improve that? Right?
Exactly.
It's like, just keep on doing it and doing it. And it's been such a like journey too. And it's only been like my second year teaching, but but even then, like I don't know how to teach. I never taught. I don't even have the credentials to teach. I've never been to college. So it's like, but it's, just like, okay, this works and this doesn't. So let me see what works and try to improve on that.
Man, dude. Like I said, man, I for anyone listening, like any other podcast people, I hope they book you as a guest. You're a perfect podcast guest, bro.
Yeah, man.
We're at an hour now, so we're out of time. I know that went by quick.
Yeah, man. I didn't even notice.
When I ask you though, for our listeners, if they can reach out to you, where they can find you on social media, like all that, or where they can go look at your paintings, because I you have like 3 big murals in Richmond, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure there's more, but that's the 3 that I know. The one by Kaiser, and then the one on Bissell, or is it Bissell, right?
Yeah, there's 2 on by Kaiser. There's the Iron Triangle in front of the Mexican restaurant that they actually just closed. Hacienda, and then it says Iron Triangle. We worked on that. And then there's the one across the street at Harbor Way, and then there's the one in North Richmond at the Rancho Market on 5th and Market.
That's the one.
There's the sculptures on 16th at Unity Park. The sculptures in Unity Park. The new sculpture is going to be on Barrett, and then I'm trying to think. And then the one on San Pablo and McDonald. There's a huge wave that was from a mural, which I think we're gonna start. I think we're gonna redo it again and do something different, because my uncle actually owns the building. So
there you go.
So
I've seen that one. Yeah.
It's like you can literally see it off the 80.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like this huge wave.
Yeah. That was huge. Yeah.
And that was for a mural. Event that was the first actual mural event in Richmond. And so it was really awesome to have that. But and then we have the Parchester too. There's the Parchester.
I used to live in Parchester.
I love it over there. It's the first black community in the whole state of California.
Oh shit!
It is huge in history, man. It's they actually have a little mural that I'm going to be helping to restore too, and then and I'm going to be adding all the way to on the side. So it's tons of work,
dope,
and then there's more to come. So I'm really trying to, like, my whole goal is to continue beautifying Richmond and I grew up not seeing a whole lot of murals in Richmond. So my whole goal and intent was for these murals is just to beautify some of these areas.
That's good, man. We need they people benefit from their psyche from looking at art. That's why fine art, rich people have fine art in their house. Like I go to these millionaires' houses in my job, and like there's a reason why they have nice art in their house and just beautiful stuff that comes from the soul, because it's visual healing, and a lot of people don't really see it that way, but man, a beautiful mural has such deep impact, and not just for the now, but for generations to come. If that mural lasts, some of this work hopefully last me, and some of these murals, they're up there for 10, 15 years. I remember murals that in the city that I grew up, they're still there, and then you see that, it's like, oh man, it literally brings me back to my childhood, it's like, and then not just that, but it just
like I said, some of these murals have the potential to really have, visual healing for generations and generations. So
look at the Mona Lisa.
I mean,
like people's
crazy.
That's been around for years.
Yeah. So
well, I appreciate you coming out, bro. Like it's always, I would like to have you back. And one of the things I mentioned to you a while back, but we never talked about, want to collaborate with you for our thing,
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that off air. Like, hopefully next time you come, we'll be done and we can talk about it here.
Yeah, we'll do.
Great. So where can people like contact you on social media?
It's RM Salazar. It's R_M_Salazar. Check out some of my work. I got some. I don't have all my work, but and also with my at the collective that I'm with, it's called lastones.com. It's last1s.com. Okay. Check out some of me and some of my friends' work. And so we opened that gallery up, and then we're also gonna be hosting events and little art shows coming down this year.
Right on, man. Thank you for coming again, bro.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate everybody.
You, dope, man. You guys got any last?
I look forward to seeing your work in the city where I work, and looking at the energy that gives off, and the impact it's going to have on the people, I think is going to be amazing. Thank you for all the good work that you do, man. Real talk.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for beautifying our city, man. Really appreciate it.
Much love.
It's crazy that you've seen it before.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I used to drive by murals all the time. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Especially they used to always do one underneath like an underpass, stuff like that. And I was like, we need more of this. Like,
well, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, that's been the Voice Party. Thank you guys for listening. We're out.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, it was a good